So, Sean,
So Noah,
do you know what I love?
I mean,
Controversial
I know plenty of
opinions.
things that.
You fucked up. Blooper! So, Sean,
Yes, Noah.
you know what I love?
No,
Not agreeing with anybody else
is it
but
nothing?
myself.
Oh, I mean, I already knew that, but
Yeah, you should.
you know
Guess what? I got
what?
10 of them. How about you?
I mean, I got 10.
Oh, you want to share them? All right,
Sure.
let's.
Wanna go first? You're the one who started
All
this
right,
bullshit.
let's get. Let's just jump into it. This welcome to this podcast where we're gonna give you 10 controversials each, and we got some pretty juicy ones in here.
Because nothing says enjoy our content like giving off an opinion that you'll probably be violently angry
Oh
about.
yeah, I get off on that, but
I don't need to know about your fetishes, Noah. In fact, I think I would die happily if I didn't
all
know.
right. So I'm gonna flip a coin, call it. If it lands on you, you go first. If it lands on me, I'll. All right.
Tails.
It is tails.
Okay, I will start. Fairy Tail and One Piece are equally okay.
Oof. I don't. I
Okay,
don't
look, I
agree
know
with
a lot
that.
of people are going to disagree. I knew a lot of people are going to disagree with this because a lot of people enjoy both franchises. Like, oh my god, One Piece, oh my god, Fairy Tail. And if you want to debate the quality of both series, whether you talk about anime specific or manga specific, there are definitely differences you'll find and strengths in both. In my opinion, I would say the Fairy Tail anime is better and the One Piece manga is better, strictly from just enjoyment factor. But comparing, since I'm an anime guy, the two anime, for I will admit that One Piece is a better story. Fairy Tail is a bit aimless and it kind of drops off at certain points. But Fairy Tail also has better art direction than One Piece. The One Piece art direction anime, I've gone on and said Toei Animation is fucking mediocre as shit. Yeah, they made Dragon Ball Z, but they're definitely a subpar studio when it comes to consistent quality. And unfortunately, with anime, with a long going shonen, you do kind of need to have some good animation, and there are so many screenshots you can find of stuff that's so awkward. And it's not even just keyframes, because people point to keyframes and like it's like, oh, bad animation, like that one famous thing of like Sasuke like with his neck twisted, but that's a keyframe. It's supposed to be distortion of an image, so that way the motion looks a lot more exaggerated and it adds more character to it. But with One Piece, these aren't keyframes; these are just basic frames, and they're awkwardly drawn. And yeah, and with Fairy Tail, even though the animation is never super great, it's one of those ones where it's like it's usually rather consistently looks pretty good, um, for the most part. I also enjoy the soundtrack of Fairy Tail a bit more, than One Piece. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that kind of like Celtic feeling to it. Fairy Tail, well, both anime I kind of just got into early on, and I also like both cast of characters. So both have their strengths and weaknesses. So both are pretty good. Well, not pretty good. They're both all right. Maybe like 6.5, 6 out of 10s, in my personal opinion. In terms of anime only, this is anime speaking.
I feel personally attacked, and we're not even 4 minutes into this.
I
You know
told
what? We're
you
done.
should not.
This podcast is over. I don't agree with
Look,
any of this.
look, okay, look.
Oh,
I told you people are going to disagree with
I
it, but I
know,
enjoy
but I
both
wasn't
shows.
expecting it so soon.
I enjoy
Oh
both
my
shows. Both
god,
have good
no.
characters.
No.
Both have, well, the main cast of
I
characters.
get
Both are pretty good. Obviously One Piece is ups
you.
over
Oh
Fairy Tail,
god.
but you know what? Shut your goddamn
Oh,
whore mouth. I think both of them are okay, and there are definitely better series out there people
yeah.
can watch that have similar ideas, similar narratives, and similar character arcs that are done a lot better in a much more quick and concise manner. And why I personally believe that shonen is a great uh, genre to start with, but there are many other ones that you jump off when you become a more mature anime fan.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I disagree. All right,
Sure,
so
whatever.
I'm gonna start mine off with
I mean, both are worse than Soul Eater.
hmm.
Also worse than My Hero Academia.
No, I don't think that. I think Soul Eater and My Hero are better than Fairy Tail, but not One Piece, or
Oh
at
no, One
least
Piece. In
early
my
One
personal
Piece.
opinion, One Piece doesn't come close to either
At
of them.
least early in One Piece, I would disagree. I don't know.
Actually, I think early One Piece is better.
I just said that.
Oh no, early One Piece is better than later One Piece,
Yeah.
but it's still not better than Soul Eater and My Hero
Yeah.
Academia, personally.
All right, so I got a pretty mild one to start off with,
Okay.
and I had to put a Crash Bandicoot one in here because, of course, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But my first one is CTR's microtransactions are not that bad. So everyone flipped the fucking shit when microtransactions were added. Yes, it is a stupid beyond. It is so fucking stupid they were in there in the first place. But everyone's biggest worries didn't actually happen. Like people were worried that the shop was gonna be all the prices were gonna change. Like I'm not gonna be able to get any of these stuff because you know. But the prices did not change. People complain about the bundles being expensive, but everyone's got to remember that the bundles are literally just all the stuff, and the price matches how much they're worth. If we remember the Crash, the future Crash one with the future car, everyone was like, "That's so much gold." But I'm like, if you take the price of the costume, the car, the wheel, and the stickers, if you actually looked at the price, it would be the same amount. And I think the microtransactions, while I personally do not choose to use them, I think they're appropriately priced. Like a buck is like 1,000 Wampa coins essentially, and if you get like big bundles, you get even more Wampa coins. So I think, while I don't think the microtransactions should have been in the game in the first place, I don't think they're actually that bad. And if you get the highest paying Wampa coins, if you really want to, that's enough to unlock all the characters. And I think if you especially with all the Grand Prix going on and about to end, I think that's a pretty good way if you're getting to the game late. You know, the game itself is already $40, and I'm sure you can get it cheaper. And if you wanted to pay an additional like $20 or $30, you could unlock all the characters instantly. So yeah, that's my standpoint on that one.
I mean, I don't disagree. So
Yeah,
I don't really have anything to add.
I'm starting on a mild one.
All right. I will continue this gravy train. I like the Super Mario Brothers movie, not because it's good, but because it's bad. So I know everyone loves to hate this movie, and I completely understand why. It is a god awful. The production is terrible. The script is terrible. The acting is, well, the acting's still pretty good, but it's not good for what it needs to be. It's not Super Mario Brothers. It's an abomination of video game movies and has been easily one of the go-to examples of people saying that video game movies are terrible. However, I'm one of the people that enjoy bad movies when they're done badly enough to be funny. A good example is The Room, because it's a drama, but the acting, script, and everything are so bad in it that it's hilarious. And with the Super Mario Brothers movie, I'll admit there's a good chunk of it that is quite boring, but there are also so many memeable moments, so many inadvertently funny lines. The cast is just good. They're all like, enjoyable actors. And damn it, what was his name? He also played in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I forgot his name, but he's a great actor. Rest in peace. Um, he said he was like drunk through that whole movie and he felt like a fever trip, and I don't blame him. But like, there's funny moments in that movie, and yes, I'm not saying it's a good movie. I will never say it's a good movie. If you catch me saying a good movie, you probably misquoted me. It is a god awful, terrible piece of garbage movie that is a stain on cinema. But that doesn't mean it's not fucking hilarious sometimes.
No. I don't subscribe to bad movies being so bad they're good quality.
I don't understand.
I
Well,
see
guess
I
I
see
understand
bad
that
I
mindset.
personally see bad movies as a waste of my time.
Well, bad is also
That is
subjective.
true.
Bad, like the idea of so bad it's good means that like, you don't really see it as a you see it as a bad movie in what it intended to be, but you enjoy it in doing something it did not mean to do, but it inadvertently accomplished. Like for me, like I said before, The Room tried to be a drama, and it completely fails at that. But it succeeds at being a comedy. That makes it a bad movie for what it's trying to be, but in the sense that I'm looking at it and enjoying it and watching it, that makes it a good movie. And I personally think for what Super Mario Brothers tried to be, obviously failed.
Mhm.
But there are points of it that it inadvertently does that I enjoy that were not what it was trying to do. That is the argument behind so bad it's good. It's not to say that like it's a good movie. It's like no, it's good because it's accomplishing something it wasn't trying to do in the first place. But what it actually tried to do is god awful.
Mm, yeah. Anyway, all right. Here's my number two. This one is very subjective, but when I look at it in a wholer picture, a bigger picture, whatever, I think this one's pretty valid. I think Black Clover is better than My Hero Academia. The reason for that being is
Mm.
that Sean's opinions suck, and I have to
Mm.
disagree with everything he stands for. No, I'm kidding, but no, but no, like I know Black
Mm.
Clover, like it's very much compared to like Naruto and One Piece, mainly because of Asta. Like, yes, he wants to be the king of the pirates, and he won't shut up about it. But I love his design. I like his like whole gimmick. Like, unlike Naruto, he has a huge handicap, and like Naruto had the potential to be a good ninja. Like, he doesn't need like the nine-tailed fox to become a great ninja. Asta does not have magic at all. So he wants to achieve this impossible goal for him by using anti magic. He wants to be the Wizard King with anti magic, and I find that hilarious. First off, Yuna is a Sasuke that works. I very much love the Black Bulls. Like, the captain is just the funniest man ever, and the action scenes are so cool. It's just like I think Black Clover is definitely the best shonen anime that like shows a message like friends are like the tightest family, because they're the Black Bulls are just so I really like the Black Bulls because they are the worst of the worst, but they have each other's back and it's great. I'm not gonna say every members of the Black Bulls are great. Like, I don't like the mirror guy who has a sister complex. That's a little too creepy as somebody who has a sister. I'm sure you can relate to that one, Sean. But
Yep.
other than him, the Black Bulls are great. Um, I think the only downside that Black Clover has that My Hero does have is villains. Like, I can't really say there's any other than the main villain of the current arc. There really aren't any memorable Black Clover villains. While My Hero's got like One for All and some other ones. Like, that's like Black Clover's like biggest weakness, but I find the show incredibly enjoyable. The arcs it does want to tell are very enjoyable. Yes, it is kind of samey to some other anime, but I think it takes those concepts and does it well.
I will disagree on the aspect that it's better than My Hero, but I won't disagree on the idea that it's a decent anime. I feel like it was overhated when it came out, and granted, the beginning of it sucks. Sucks. Like it's really
No,
fucking slow
no.
in how the pacing was like god awful garbage, but it did pick up, and it is enjoyable. But I won't agree with that it's better than My Hero personally.
Oh,
I won't say that
I
it's
guess I
bad.
should.
I said go watch it.
I guess I didn't talk
I
about that. Maybe I should rep
I
that.
will actually say that I think Black Clover is better than One Piece.
Well, I actually
But
realized I didn't talk about My Hero and why I think it's inferior. I think, well, My Hero clearly has like the spotlight for like the newest in quotations shonen anime, and I don't hear anybody talking about Black Clover, and I honestly don't feel like
you don't go in enough anime circles. Trust me, people are still talking about it.
really because everywhere I
Yeah.
go, like I watch a lot of anime channels on YouTube, and uh, I talk to some anime friends in real life. People bring up My Hero, but nobody brings up Black Clover.
Look up Nux Taku.
I
He's an AniTuber. He's talked about Black Clover a lot.
no. Well, I do know who you're talking about. I never saw a video even talking
I
about.
swear he's done videos on Black Clover.
Maybe
One of his groups
maybe I
has.
didn't
One
see
of
it.
one of his in groups has.
Well,
The
here's
point
the
is, it's still in it's still in anime discussion. Obviously, not as much as My Hero,
yeah.
but I still won't agree with you
But
at all
just to
because I
knock
love My
down
Hero.
My Hero's peg, because that's the point I'm trying to make for my controversial opinion. I think the first season is not good. I mean, maybe not good, but it's not great. Like, I think it's definitely like the weakest part of the entire show.
No one is disagreeing with you on that.
I think people would disagree with me on that, honestly.
Well, those people are wrong. Season 1 is the weakest. It's a good season, but it's still not the best.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 are definitely way better.
And I think Yuno is a better rival than Bakugo because
Oh, I will certainly fucking amazingly disagree with you on that. He's a better Sasuke, but he's not a
I
better
think
rival.
fuck, I don't remember either of the names. Like fucking in Black Clover, the white haired girl that uses water magic. I think she's
that she's better. She's better love interest.
she's a better love interest than Gravity Girl.
Okay, I might give you that. I might give you that one.
I don't like her at all. But
Uraraka is fun as a character, as a love interest, not as fun.
I don't even like her as a character, honestly.
I like her bubbly personality.
And I honestly feel like some supporting characters of My Hero are just better than Deku in almost every way, shape, and form. I could list them. I could list them, but nah.
I don't know. I love Deku because I relate to him so hard, and I think he's an enjoyable character to watch persevere and grow through things. So now I feel personally attacked.
I just don't. I just can't give a shit about Deku anymore. Like
to be fair, I've seen people say they don't like Deku, so it's not like it's new to me.
yeah, I'm not a fan of Deku.
I also admit that a lot of the side characters are really good.
I think a good chunk of the side characters are better than Deku. As for Asta, I think Asta is front and center, and the side characters, well, I'm gonna say a few of them outshine him, but it's not like Naruto where I feel like all the side characters outshine the main character until later on in the series, anyway.
Okay.
Also,
Speaking of,
I got one more point. Another reason why I love Black Clover is that we're not getting any fucking rivalry angst. Like, I'm so sick of that. It's such a fucking cliche that I'm glad Black Clover Black Clover actually makes fun of that cliche, and I find it funny.
It really depends on how you utilize it.
Yeah, but I'm just so sick of
I feel like with Sasuke they utilized it wrong. With Bakugo, I see they're utilizing it right.
I'm gonna say they did it right, but it took way too long to get to that point. Like you got to remember, Nick hated Bakugo because of how he was.
I know, but I'm one of the few people who really liked Bakugo back in the beginning.
I'm like,
he's an asshole, but that doesn't make him a bad character.
I mean, yeah, but
okay, I'm gonna go on a little rant. Assholes aren't bad characters.
I understand that.
They're just bad people.
I understand that, but I'm definitely gonna say, like, I'm not a big fan of like My Hero, the episode where they're doing teams. Him just fucking violently chasing down Deku. I'm like, dude, can you like cool your jets and actually complete your task? Like, all I can say is your Sasuke is showing. Like, that's all I could think of in season 1 Bakugo.
You could say that, except he showed more facial expressions.
That's not the point, jackass.
Sasuke was like, "I will finish you off," and Bobby was like, "I'll fucking kill you." So, anyway, related note, in a similar way, Naruto is better than Dragon Ball Z.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I mean the entirety of Naruto and the entirety of Dragon Ball.
Okay,
So this
I'll
also
let you
includes
prove. I'll let you.
Naruto,
I'll let
Shippuden,
you talk, and then
and
I'll
Boruto.
give my piece. Because I actually have to think
For
about
one
this.
thing, Naruto treats its side characters way better than Dragon Ball. Like, if you think about it, Dragon Ball Z is the even just Dragon Ball in general is the well after
Yeah, he's
Z
the
in
Goku
Armored, it's the
show.
Goku Vegeta
It's a
show. It's the Goku Vegeta
yeah.
show. In Super, it's no one else fucking matters.
Yeah.
So they don't have any opportunity to make them grow. Whereas with like in the original Dragon Ball, they had that and they kind of wasted a bit. Not to mention there are so many boring arcs. Granted, Naruto has the same problem. Also, Naruto is more of an interesting character than Goku. Goku is, I mean, he's the basic shonen character. He's nice. He has, he eats a lot, and he wants to save people. He likes fighting. He's I guess well he's I wouldn't say he's a self-insert character, but he's close-ish. Whereas Naruto has a lot of insecurities. He's fighting through it by overwhelming positivity. He's trying to be the best he can be because he's been beaten down so much, and that character arc for him is a lot more interesting. And personally, Naruto has better villains because, well, I mean,
Actually, I don't
Madara,
know.
I'm
Pain.
blanking on a lot of fucking names, honestly.
Oh, they're so good you can't remember them.
I also can't remember a lot. No, do you know how many fucking anime I've
How
seen?
can you like? Okay, I know I'm letting you say your piece, but literally, like Frieza, maybe Cell, and maybe not Boo, but
Gee, it's
Frieza,
almost like Dragon Ball Z only has like 5
I
villains.
know, but those villains stand out. Like Frieza,
Not always in a good way.
Frieza, whether you like it or not, is like the most iconic anime villain of all time.
I get that. But the problem is iconic isn't synonymous with top tier quality. Whereas I feel like, well, I guess I would say they're similar in many ways to being around as good. And also the fighting in Naruto's better, personally. There's more strategy involved instead of just shooting beams and screaming and attacks and let's go Super Saiyan for the 15th time. Or actually, no, you can't do it yet. You gotta wait a bit, fight a bit, then you use your extra powers. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball. I like Super, I guess. Also, Boruto is better than Super. That's a really controversial thing because a lot of people hate Boruto.
How is that not one
And
of your on your list?
Well, it's an all-encompassing thing. It's an all-encompassing thing because, as I said before, I'm a man for aesthetic. Super is going back to Toei Animation. Oh my god, do I even need to bring up the first 2 arcs? I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. Whereas Boruto, whether you like it or not, you cannot deny the animation is beautiful. The art style is also very clean. It's nice to see our characters all grown up. Whereas in Super, it's just like seeing them and you're just like, oh, Bulma got a little older. Golf clap. And to be fair, I think both Super and Boruto are underwhelming series. But at least with Boruto, I find myself getting a bit more invested, and certain characters have gotten better. I don't like Sasuke, but in Boruto, he's gotten better. Whereas in Super, I cannot say the same thing. Everyone is exactly the same character. No one changes. There are some good characters in Super. Kefla is good, or Khalifa. No, that because Kefla's her form.
Yeah.
And her sister is good. Some of the other Saiyans, and a few other characters here and there, as well as Beerus. Beerus actually did not start in Super. He started in Battle of Gods, but he was good.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. It is just a shame that the series that came afterward is mediocre. To be fair, Boruto is also mediocre in my opinion, but at least I find myself enjoying it better. And I don't know, like with The appeal of both series is watching characters fight. Like we
Agreed.
can talk about like the villains and their motivations, character motivations, animation all day long, but the draw to each series is watching them fight. And the problem with Dragon Ball Z is the fights are too slow paced. There are so many
Mm,
like compilation videos where they'll show like the fight and all uncut, and it's like 4 hours long. Whereas like they show like all like, oh, here's the fight, and there's so many cuts in between all the damn time because it takes a million years for fucking Namek to blow up. And this is the same argument everyone's made, and it's more just for a joke. I don't actually get mad about it. But with Naruto, you don't really have to do that because I mean, Naruto versus Pain fight, you can just watch the whole thing and not be bored by it. Not to mention, Pain is kind of better than all of Dragon Ball's villains, if I'm being
I'll agree with
honest.
that. Honestly,
Like all of them.
Pain's amazing. Fun
Um,
fact: I cosplayed as him.
and there you go. And it's just also the techniques in Naruto are more interesting to me because in DBZ it's just different variations of the same beam attacks, whereas ninjutsu lends itself with the different styles, with taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, it lends itself to different fighting styles. So it offers like like, oh, these two characters are totally different, so it's more strategizing. Whereas in Dragon Ball Z, it's who can shoot the laser more. So I mean, I'm not saying it's not the same as saying like, I dislike One Piece or Fairy Tail or whatever like that from before. I genuinely do really like both series and they've earned their place in anime history. I just personally feel that Naruto is a bit better than DBZ at certain aspects, which in my opinion overall, because even though there are some points in DBZ that are better, clearly the rival's better. Vegeta is way better than Sasuke.
Hmm.
Um, Hinata is better than Chi-Chi though,
Yep.
hands down. um, although I guess you could say Bulma's better than Sakura, so I guess they kind of balance out. But whatever. Overall, encompassing, Naruto, I feel, has a bit more points in its favor as a franchise than Dragon Ball.
I actually don't know about this one. I think.
You don't know what you can think about
Well,
it.
here's the thing. I don't. I tell people this all the time whenever I recommend Naruto. I think the first series is not good. Like there's like
I would say
like
skip the first few
there's
episodes
like
and then get into the real.
I know, but you kind of can't do that because nobody's gonna understand a goddamn
You-
thing.
No, I think you can.
I think
personally.
Shippuden is better than the original Naruto.
Well, yeah, but I personally think the original Naruto still has plenty of really good points.
In my opinion, with the exception of one arc, which is the Choni arc, exam arc, that's like the only good arc in the original Naruto, in my opinion.
Not even the Zabuza?
No, I don't. I don't really
Really?
care about him.
I thought that was really good.
But like, I think even with that great arc, I think Dragon Ball has every single arc except for filler. And granted, Naruto has a lot of bad filler episodes itself. I think Boo was
A mess.
Boo was a mess, but once they straightened out the mess, it was really good.
I wouldn't say really good.
Like
I would say
when
enjoyable
when
enough.
I would say when Gohan is fighting Boo, that's when the Boo arc really gets good. It's kind of funny. Like I think the Boo arc is good until we get Gotenks, and then it just becomes mediocre, and then it gets good again once Gohan fights Boo.
Personally, I think the Great Saiyaman is better than Boo. I know that's really controversial. People don't like the Great Saiyaman, but it's funny, it's quirky, it's different than the rest of everything
It's a nice
else.
filler arc, but
It's fun. I like
which
it. It's
which
underrated.
I can't
Come
which
on,
I can't
guys.
say for Naruto. Like the only good filler arc in Naruto is like everyone trying to figure out what's under Kakashi's mask. That is literally the best running joke in throughout the series. But I'm getting off topic. I think I disagree
I mean,
completely.
both had bad
I disagree
filler.
completely that Super is worse than Boruto. If we argued the first
Waiting for that.
if we argued the first few seasons of Boruto and the first few wait, why am I saying seasons? No, the first two arcs compared, like, of course Boruto would win because the animators were working on One Piece Gold at the time, and they really didn't want to reanimate something they did already. But Super has a workaround. Just watch the movies. Boruto, you could say like is more original, but even that show retreaded movie territory eventually. And I think the new arcs of Dragon Ball Super are far superior than anything Boruto has ever created.
What, you mean the manga?
I'm talking about like all of media, honestly.
Oh yes, another tournament arc. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, it was great. We got
It was
hit.
okay.
We got hit from that one. It's all good. And we got
I
to see
know, but-
Vegeta beat the shit out of a Frieza lookalike. That was when Goku fucking stole that kill in Resurrection F, it pissed everyone off. The fact that he can just beat down on a Frieza lookalike was so good. But we're not even halfway done, so let's just wrap this section off.
Personally, go watch the movies. It's not a good excuse, in my opinion.
It's not a good excuse, but it's an option. It's
I don't know.
like
I'm still standing still. Both are great.
I'm gonna
series,
take Shadow.
but I
I'm gonna
just think
take.
Naruto's a little better.
I'm gonna take Shadow the Hedgehog to prove my point. Like whether it doesn't matter how you feel about the game, even if it was the best game ever made, that game was designed to go whatever levels you want due to your morality. If there's a really bad level, that's really god awful, you can skip it if you went around it. That is not a good gameplay design, but it's an option.
It's funny you mention this because this will be brought up later.
All right. Well, we should move on. We've been on this topic for a while.
Your turn to piss me off.
Yeah, this one. I mean, you already know this one, but that's gonna piss a lot more people off. I think Pokemon Gen 6 is my favorite in the series, and
I love how you cut out every single sentence.
Pokemon Gen 6 is my favorite generation of Pokemon. That doesn't piss me off. No, that's controversial in itself. But I think Gen 7 is the worst generation out of all of them.
Oh, that'll piss people off.
I still say
Gen 2.
And
that
will piss people off. But
I don't think it's. But the difference between me and you is you don't like Gen 7. I do like Gen 2. I just think it's the weakest.
My original Pokemon controversial opinion was going to be Gen 4 is actually really good, but I'm in the wrong circle according to Sean and a lot of other people that.
Oh no, those games are popular.
Yeah.
Man. People are waiting for the remakes.
The people I know just fucking hate the game. So I wasn't gonna do that. This is definitely more controversial because everyone doesn't like Gen 6 apparently, and everyone loves Gen 7. So yeah, I think Gen 6 had the perfect blend of Pokemon at that time. I liked its chibi-like art style. I thought that was the natural evolution to the Pokemon series, but in 3D. I love the fucking roller skates. I am pissed those didn't get brought back in future generations. I thought the music was great. Again, the Pokemon selection was great as well. I'm still pissed we didn't get a third version. We did not get Pokemon Z. That pissed me off to no fucking end. Gen 7, I hate the art style. I hate the new Pokemon. I'm not a big fan of the structure. The only thing good, the story was okay. Like, it's great for Pokemon stories, but when you compare them to other RPG stories, it still doesn't cut the bill. And the fact that this Gen 7 got fucking sequels. Like 2 third versions essentially, and the only thing good about those versions is Team Rainbow Rocket. And you know what?
Female Grunt is amazing.
Yeah, but you know what the worst part about those versions? they've ruined the story. Like the one thing people praise about Gen 7, they ruined it in the third version. But yeah, that's my Pokemon opinion, controversial opinion. I think Gen 6 is the best generation, and I think Gen 7 is the worst.
I don't really have anything to add to that, honestly. I mean, I don't agree. I like Gen 7 fine. I think it's alright. I like Gen 6 quite a bit. It's one of my higher ones, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that, honestly.
Yeah, that's fine because we spent a long
Uh,
time in the last few ones.
for me, this is gonna be an interesting one because I don't know how I'm gonna tackle this. I don't know how you're gonna react to this.
Okay.
Um, the kiss in Sonic 06 is not the worst moment in Sonic history, but Shadow wielding a gun is.
Okay, so I was going to say that scene doesn't offend me as much as others people would seem because I think everyone's being a fucking drama queen about it. Yeah, it's weird, but you also gotta remember like fucking Sonic dated a squirrel. I think him getting kissed by a squirrel is
Can I
no
argue for
different.
my point,
It's just,
please?
but no, I'm almost done. But shadow wielding a gun being the worst. I don't agree with that, but continue.
Okay, so the thing is, everyone bitches about Sonic 06 and they'll talk about this kiss and everything like that. And I'm not gonna say it's good. I'm not gonna say like it's well developed. I'm not gonna say the character's interesting because none of that's true. It's not a good moment. But the thing is, it still strangely kind of fits in that like weird um mascot based platformer that kind of like not the way it's presented, but the idea of like Sonic being revived by a kiss that could work. Like if it was like a kiss on the cheek, he's like, "Mwah," and he's like, huh, what? Huh? It just wakes up. That could work. The presentation is where it's wrong. Um, but the thing is, with Shadow wielding a gun, it kind of, in my personal opinion, goes against everything Sonic is supposed to be. Yeah, he's that 90s attitude, but it was that 90s radical attitude that was all about skateboarding and kind of going against authority, but still doing the right thing. Like every single like 90s kids film had that kid who was like, not following the rules, but he had a good heart. Like, oh, he got expelled from school, but he has a good heart. He does the right thing in the end. Whereas and that's kind of what Sonic kind of encompassed. He was the 90s. That is what Sonic is. He's a positive character with attitude. But the thing is, Gun. Gun is a killing machine that was created to end lives. It is not supposed to be. It is twisted into being something badass, and it can be badass if you use it correctly. And it's supposed to have this using that in some kind of game or something is supposed to give it a mature, more realistic edge. But you can't do that in a game about anthropomorphic hedgehogs. I'm not saying anything about the gameplay. I'm not saying anything about it. It's just the very idea that one of the characters is wielding a gun with edgy early 2000s rock kind of. And I know Shadow is supposed to be an antithesis to Sonic, but that's also goes in the argument that I think Shadow shouldn't be that. Like you can be edgy without being like that kind of edgy. Like he's like when he started out, he was the kind of edgy where if you poked him, you'd fucking blood up, like gush blood from your fucking hand and die. Like so edgy, I cut my finger, that kind of shit. I made myself laugh doing that one time. But uh, it's just that very imagery doesn't belong in Sonic, and as a kid, I remember people saying, I remember there was like those circles you hear like, oh, you seen that one game where Shadow kills Sonic? And even as a kid, I thought it was stupid. Even as a kid, I was like, what? Why? Why would you do that to Sonic? Because I liked Sonic as a kid. I think he's okay now. Um, uh, it, it's just it was dumb then. It's dumb now, and it just, in my personal opinion, goes against everything that I think Sonic should be about. Just fun 90s platformer with a weird attitude, shoe wearing hedgehog that's blue and has anime eyes. That shadowing a gun is just it's not that at all.
So we just saw here, folks, that Sean does not approve of guns in his children's game, but he promotes bestiality. It's good to know.
No, not that at all. Actually, bestiality is bad, and guns in children's games are. You told me not to involve politics. So I'm trying not to. But,
no. Yeah, that's where it's leading. Let's move on.
I don't know. It's fucking stupid. It's so stupid. Like, they could have made him badass by giving him anything else. They could have given him a sword. Swords are cool. We don't talk about that.
Hey, that game was great. Sure, controversial opinion number 11.
It's fan fiction. It's fan fiction. The game.
I know, that's why it's so great. What if Sonic was in the Zelda world?
That's why it's so great.
It is great.
The point is, it's stupid.
I love it.
That they did it, but they did it. So whatever. They did it. They gave Shadow a gun.
And they gave Sonic a sword. So
that somehow fits more.
Okay, so I wasn't going to bring this one up until later because it's a really juicy one, but since we're talking about Sonic, I might as well just talk about it right now. This one is going to fucking piss off the entire Sonic base. You ready for this one?
Oh boy, I cannot wait.
All right.
I want to hear it.
Sonic 06 is better than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
Oh my god, are you
I'm not
to get that fucking hate mail? Holy shit.
I am not shitting you.
Oh
this is
my
actually
God.
how I feel.
I thought the fucking Fairy Tail or Naruto ones were bad. Oh my god.
I know, I was gonna save this.
You're gonna get killed.
I was gonna save this one for later.
You need to hire a bodyguard, man.
How much do you pay for an hour?
You want me to be your bodyguard?
Hey, listen, at least we can play Crash Bash before we die.
I'm not going down with you. Fuck that.
This is not.
I mean, sure, the soundtrack is better than 06, but holy fuck.
All right.
Oh my god.
All right.
But go ahead, argue.
All right. I want everybody to know I am not joking when I say this. I sincerely feel this way. I think. Okay, first of all, 06 has the best sound.
Well, it's good knowing you won't last.
I know. I'm a very controversial guy, but
I noticed.
Okay, I think Sonic 06. Okay, let's get the light one out of the way. I think Sonic 06, hands down, has the better soundtrack between all three games.
Well,
I think Sonic 06 has a far superior soundtrack to any of the game. Maybe not every Sonic game, but it's one of the highest.
Well, I mean, his world. I'm a big Zebrahead fan. So.
Okay, so I think just to go through a few points that people bring up that I fully disagree. The sense of speed. I agree 06 is slower than Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. But for Adventure 2, you're basically going in a straight line and just like jumping occasionally and doing some homing attacks. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But like I always prefer Sonic Adventure in 06 having more open levels with multiple pathways. I think the structure for 06 is much better with multiple characters. Every character plays essentially different, but they're not the focus. The focus is on the three hedgehogs. And while I think Silver could be tweaked a little bit to be better, I still find his gameplay fun. Especially when you get the move where you can just shock the ground and you can carry, like, he basically has the Force. That's really cool. He can fly. That's really cool. Shadow,
It's no use.
Shadow can go Kaioken, and it's not even a joke. He can. So
isn't that Chaos Blast?
Basically, but in the game he turns red like Kaioken, and he can he has 3 levels of it.
So fake Super Saiyan.
No, that's
From the Lord Slug movie.
Well, no. But
because that's when Goku.
But it's literally Kaioken because it has 3 levels, and every level you do, he gets more and more red. That's basically Kaioken. But
that still reminds me of the fake.
And
Super
Sonic
Saiyan.
has the gems. My God, I'm very happy those were glitched because you can use the gems unlimitedly. Like unlimited. Bleh, I can't speak. I don't have water, but like you can use them forever. Like
Hydrate, bro.
I have
Roll that
I
D20
like the
for
sky
hydration.
gem. Like if you throw it on any flat surface, it will launch you to that place. The purple gem turns you small and you could jump forever. Essentially, I think '06 has better character boss fights because like I know Silver. It's not a good design. If you're anywhere near that son of a bitch, he's gonna murder you. But once you learn,
You can also get
once you
stunlocked.
learn how, yeah, basically. But once you learn once you learn how to beat him, it's actually a pretty tense fight because you don't know where he is, but if you know when to attack him, it's very satisfying to do. And when you know how to attack him for extra damage, that's very satisfying to do. I think the level themes and design are better than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And this, of course, the soundtracks all make it even better. All the support characters are nowhere as good as the main three hedgehogs, but they're not supposed to be because they're just supporting characters. For Sonic Adventure, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to play as Big Cat. I don't want to play as Gamma. I certainly don't want to play as Amy, and yes, you gotta play as her in '06, but you only have to touch her twice throughout the entire game.
Bad phrasing.
I don't care. I'm already going to hell.
Are we still doing phrasing?
I'm going to hell anyway, so I might as well keep going. Like Sonic Adventure 2, Tails is like I'd rather play Tails outside the mech. Like why is he in the mech? The only
Yes, this is an anime
the
Tales.
only
Get out of there.
the only the only positive about Sonic Adventure 2 is that they created Shadow and you get to play as Dr. Eggman. That's like its only positives. Sonic Adventure 1 is arguably less polished than '06. Like '06, you have to actively try to break that game. And while it's very easy to do, like the PS1 Classic over there, sponsorship. But
How is it sponsored? You're not being paid. I wish we were being
I know,
paid.
right? But like if you just play
use-
06 the way it should be, you're not gonna run into that many bugs and glitches. Like I didn't even know
Kind of like Twin Sanity.
exactly. Sonic 06 is the twin sanity of the Sonic series.
I will
But
literally kill you now.
yeah. But like I find the bosses to be better than the other two games. The final boss is actually really, really good. It's just that I personally think '06 is the better game between it, Adventure 1, and Adventure 2.
To quote one tired man, sometimes you have to look deep inside yourself and ask, what am I willing to take today? The answer is not fucking this. Aaron Hand. Playing Sonic 06. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not a Sonic fan. I don't really care for all three games. I don't really care for any of them, personally speaking. It's just wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I right
I
now,
really want to die.
right now, if I wanted to play a Sonic game right now, and if I had only those three options, I would play '06.
I'm not going to use this as an excuse to get me to play 06 because I don't want.
I'm not trying
any
to.
of
I'm not
those three
trying to.
games.
I don't care about you.
You're not making me buy that fucking game.
Well, I already said I could send you a copy. We could do a race on
You're
it.
not sending me.
We
that
could do a
fucking
race
game
on
'cause
it.
I'm gonna break it. No, I'm gonna break that game. If you send it to me, I'm breaking it.
I think '06 is a superior game. That's very that's arguably the most controversial opinion I got. But since you were already talking about Sonic,
I really have no addition to that. I'm gonna go to Tamer. Holy shit. Studio Leica is better than Disney. If any of you don't know who Studio Leica is, they are a stop motion animation studio that's only done a very select few films. Their most famous one is Coraline.
oh,
Everyone
I
knows
see.
Coraline.
Yeah.
They're those guys. But they've also done Paranorman, and they did Kubo and the Two Strings, which is, in my opinion, easily one of the greatest animated movies ever. Is honestly better than any Disney movie, and I'm someone who really enjoys a lot of Disney. Like, there's just a lot of really fucking good ones. But the thing is, Disney also has a gigantic lineup. So obviously not all of them are going to be great. They've made so many classics. But with Leica, every single one of their movies is a knock out of the park. And I'm also someone who adores stop motion animation. It is a so far underrated visual medium and requires so much time and dedication. And Kubo and the Two Strings itself took, I think, 4 years to make. There was one, there was one model that was the size of the entire room, and they had to animate it frame by frame by frame, and it worked so well. The animation in that movie is goddamn beautiful. Every single one of the movies is fucking beautiful. They're all amazing. Whereas with Disney, they lean a lot more towards like digital medium, like CG movies. And CG animation movies are still good. I enjoy CG movies, but they don't have that same punch as like um 2D animation or stop motion. And even then, stop motion has more punch, in my opinion. And it's just like if I was to compare Disney's lineup overall, there's obviously a lot of heavy hitters. I don't even need to list off any because if you can't, you haven't seen that many movies. Noah?
I've seen Disney movies.
Okay, good.
Those
All
are
right.
probably the only movies I have
I
seen.
don't have to kill you. But the thing is, there's also even in those really good movies, there's also a lot of problems. Like, easily one of their greatest movies, or one of those probably movies, is The Lion King. I have a lot of problems with The Lion King. It's a good movie, but the soundtrack is hit and miss. There's parts of that movie that aren't as good, and Matthew Broderick, god damn it, you sometimes are good, but usually you are not. And unfortunately, Lion King was one of those ones where you were very subpar. You will never have another Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That it will never happen again. But Studio Leica doesn't have those. I don't have any problems with Coraline. I don't have any problems with Paranorman. I don't have any problems with Kubo and the Two Strings. I haven't seen The Missing Link. I've heard that one's pretty good though. Um, it's just that they don't get enough notoriety. They don't get enough attention. Their movies are Oscar worthy. And I know people throw the Oscar worthy thing a lot. There's those Oscar bait movies like, oh my god, it's Oscar worthy, but these ones are classics. Everyone who has a kid or everyone who loves animation, go see those movies. They need more attention. At least watch Cool and the Two Strings. It's such a good movie. It is so beautiful. It is an anime in stop motion. And god damn it, it's so good. So good. Disney does not have anything of that high quality.
And I got nothing to add to this because it's a very neutral topic to me.
Mm-hmm. I know. I figured you probably haven't seen that many Leica movies, but to be fair, there's only like 5. Also, Paranorman is really underrated. It has that whole IC, but it does it really fucking. There's an amazing lesson in that movie, and it doesn't half-ass it. Like a lot of Disney movies, like, oh, friendship, and then they fucking axe the villain. They always do that. It's like, it's like, oh, friendship, we love everyone except you. You suck. You're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Leica doesn't do that. They commit to their lessons, and because of that, it's more impactful for a kid. And having seen Paranorman as a kid, god damn, that watching it again as an adult is like, oh, beautiful, good movie, good fucking movie.
Alrighty then.
They're all so good.
All right, so unfortunately, I don't got that big of a juicy topic as the last one I had, but this one's this one's pretty juicy. I think DK64 is the best Rare game.
Oh, really?
Really?
Now? That is probably the most unpopular one.
Yeah. Like, I like it better than Banjo-Kazooie. I love it Banjo-Tooie. I love it more than Diddy Kong Racing. I love it more than Conquer. I love it more than Star Fox Adventure, if you want to count that.
I probably would count it.
Like,
Star Fox
every Rare game ever made, I think DK64 is the better one. Better than the country games.
Ooh, now we're getting really juicy details because I like the country games quite a bit.
They're fine. Like I think
even the new country games?
the the new country games are not made by Rare. They're made by Retro.
I know, but they're still in the country series.
Yeah, but they're not made by Rare. This is favorite Rare
I know.
game.
In this argument, that counts. But
all right, if we're counting the country games, Tropical Freeze is the better one.
All right. No, I'm throwing off topic.
DK64, I think, is like it or not, it is a collectathon's wet dream. Whether you like it or not.
That is a bad phrase.
I'm already going to hell, so let me dream. But yes, there is a lot of collectibles in this game, and too many, you could say. But I don't agree with that. I don't honestly agree with that. I think
I don't know.
I think
I'm mostly
I think a collectathon that has more to collect is more adventure, in my opinion.
No, I'm mostly kidding when I say
No, it's
that.
fine because I'm not. Yes, you have to collect like everything 5 times, but the characters all have their unique move sets. They have strengths and weaknesses, and I think the level design is the best out of all the 3D platformers around that era. And yeah, there's really not much I could say. Like, I think this is the superior collectathon game in Rare, and I think it's the best Rare game, honestly.
I'm a basic bitch, Banjo-Kazooie, and I still think, because a lot of people really don't like DK64, and I'm not in that group. I do, however, have 2 big criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
1, movement speed. Those levels are too big for how fast you go.
I don't agree with that.
Even the hub world, it takes a while to get through. Second thing, switching characters.
I'll give you that one, but I don't.
That one is a bit tedious, and there are things you cannot collect when they're right in front of you, and you need the chance characters.
Yeah,
that is a bit tedious.
I think.
Other than that,
I think
the game's pretty good.
I think if you treat the levels as like backtracking type things, like I don't really have a game in mind to support my point, but it's like if you go through the levels as Donkey Kong, you can just like do everything with Donkey Kong because you don't need the characters to unlock new parts for other characters. So if you really wanted to, you could do like level 1 with all for Donkey Kong. And then you could do it for Diddy, and maybe you're just sick of that level at that point, so move on to another level, and maybe do a different character while you're at it, and then come back with a new character so it feels more fresher. That's personally how I feel about it, but yeah, I would agree about the switching characters. That's like probably the biggest one. Also, I don't think a good chunk of the mini games are all that great, but as the core mechanic of the game, which is a collectathon and level design and exploring the worlds, I think Donkey Kong 64 is the superior Rare game.
Like I said, Banjo-Kazooie, I feel like design choice.
I like Banjo-Kazooie too, but I still think DK64 is the better one.
All right. This is kind of related. Console wars are fucking stupid.
Yes.
Console wars are fucking stupid. I don't give a shit if you play a PlayStation, if you play a PC, if you play with your ass. I don't care. I don't care what you play.
Hey, Mom, I got 2 buttons.
Every console. Okay, look, every console. Obviously, some versions of certain consoles are better. They'll have better controllers. They'll have better games to play. They'll have better layouts. They'll have better UIs. They'll have better, hardware. But saying like, oh, this console version is always better or PC is always better, it's like, okay, look, just let people enjoy things, okay? If someone wants to enjoy Xbox, let them enjoy Xbox. You can have fun. You can coexist as someone who plays Xbox with someone who plays PlayStation. It is possible. I know that you might not think it's possible behind your neckbeard, but if you just look past your virginity, you will see it is possible. I'm being so mean right now. But the problem is that the people that still care about the console wars are exactly this way.
Do people still care?
It's gone down. Let's be honest. Oh my god, people still care. I'm gonna be honest though. It has gone down. Like, it's become more of a joke but there are still people who are very adamant about which one they do, which one they go with. And whenever I see people doing the console wars, I usually see PlayStation winning.
Yeah.
I grew up with PlayStation. I love PlayStation. I'm not going to say that you only need to play PlayStation.
No.
There are many great games on the Switch. There are many great games on Xbox. There are many great games that are only on Steam. Shut up. There are good games on Xbox, okay? The Halo series
Yeah, two of them
makes up for it. Hey, the Halo series does make up for it. I will actually give it that.
True.
But hold on. I need a drink.
The
point being, if you are still concerned about what console someone plays, you need to grow up.
I think Console Wars was fun as a kid, but
it wasn't even fun.
I think
I wouldn't even say that.
I think it was fun. Like this happened in middle school for me. Like it was so great to see like Sony. Like I was on the Sony side at the time, and it was so good to see like. It felt so good to see like the Microsoft fans just go down in flames, and you know what? In a masochistic way, I guess it felt pretty good in quotations for when
never saw that.
No, I'm a sadist, but
I don't give a fuck.
But like when the Xbox 360 basically, in quotations I'm gonna add, won that generation, I felt a little defeated, you know? I thought it was fun as a kid, but now I just don't give a crap.
Well, the thing is, the reason why they were started was more out of competition. Yeah. And competition in business is important because it helps keep prices lower. It prevents monopolies, and having different companies make different consoles and having different games appear in those consoles makes it so that there are reasons to get them, and that way they all compete to make theirs the best. And it as consumers, we benefit for it. But us fighting over that in a very childish manner is where it's just stupid. So grow up, please. You're allowed to enjoy any console you want. Someone isn't a bad person for playing Xbox. Someone isn't a child for playing Nintendo. Someone isn't a self-righteous fuck for playing on a computer. And someone isn't a basic bitch for playing PlayStation.
All right. Well, moving on to my number 5. This one is pretty juicy. Not to you, but to everyone else. I think Mario 64 DS is better than OG Mario 64.
You cut out.
I think Mario 64 DS is better than OG Mario 64.
I don't know. I've said that before, but I don't know. It's mostly better.
I think it's better.
Original,
it's got more contents. The added levels are fun.
It needed a different console.
Granted, maybe, but I think the console it was on was fine. Like, if you have to play this game, I highly recommend either emulating it and using a controller with an analog stick or playing on the 3DS. I agree with that. But I actually prefer this version because one, it adds more characters, which equals more fun. Second, we got new levels, and I think they're all pretty good. We got new bosses, like we got King Boo, King.
I hear it, King Boo.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Goomboss, King Goomba, and
King Cold. King Chill.
King Chill. Well, nobody cares about him.
King Cold. But, yeah, little did you know the Dragon Ball Z character showed up.
Yeah, so it's clearly better. It's clearly better. Everyone play Mario 64 Kai. Anyway.
A villain who showed up for 2 episodes.
Anyway, like, there's that. There's no Waluigi, so it's great. I actually prefer having a run button because I think it gives me better control. Because
I forgot I had a run button. Fuck.
Yeah, I enjoyed having the run button because the N64 controller is awful. I barely call that an analog stick. And if you want precise movement with that thing, you gotta be a fucking pro or have a lot of patience. With the run button, at least I can control myself by just letting go of the button.
Personally, I think the game just needs a new remake.
I agree, but for what we have now, I think DS is the better version of the game.
Overall, it's the better version, but there are points in the original Mario 64, like complex movements, that do edge it
But
out.
you see,
like there are points to where you can skip through, like, chunks and such if you're good at the game. Whereas with DS, you kind of can't. But overall, it's a better
well,
experience.
here's the thing. The reason why this is controversial is because I don't agree with what you just said. I actually think DS is just the better game in terms of, like, everything.
All right.
It has a better Bowser model. Case closed.
Well, obviously,
we don't have a
a
babyface Bowser.
It doesn't look like someone shit out a bunch of polygons. Like, quick, make something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go something. It's a little. I don't really know how to point this one. Actually, I'm going like all over the map on my list. I don't hate Captain Marvel from the MCU. I think she's pretty cool. And this is controversial because there was a fucking petition to have her removed.
Really?
From the MCU completely, because everyone was really upset. Now, I still stand that most of these are from whiny little pissant fuckboys who can't handle the fact that there's a strong woman, which is weird because remember back in the day when we were like, oh my god, look at all these strong women in our games, like fucking Lara Croft and Samus, and guys were doing things that I will not mention in their rooms at night because they're lonely. And nowadays, when you see that, they get attacked because. Oh wait, you told me not to do politics.
Yeah, let's not
okay.
jump there.
Anyway, I think she's a good character. Well, not the best character in the MCU, but I like her fine. Like, she's got that kind of like attitude that makes her like she's just starting her arc. So people are like, oh my god, she's unlikable, and I'm like, remember Thor? He was kind of a prick when he started, but now he's like everyone's favorite character. Just give her time. She's gonna grow on you. I know it. Seriously, just fuck off. And plus, I like Brie Larson. She's cool. I like Brie Larson. She's good. I don't know. Everyone. Captain Marvel was alright. You guys are just mean.
Okay, so this is unintentionally controversial opinion number 12. I don't really care about the DCU. That's not on my list, but I'm just stating, like, I don't really...
The MCU or the DCU?
The MCU.
Oh.
I kind of stopped caring.
I mean, a bunch of people don't.
I kind of stopped caring after Civil War, honestly.
Oh, you missed out on a lot of good stuff.
I know, but I'm just not interested. But I don't know about Captain Marvel. I've never seen anything she's in.
Just
in general,
a lot of people really didn't like her.
Okay.
But I honestly think that they're little bitches. For the most part, some people have legit arguments. But for the most part, I see people being little bitch babies about it. Oh. If you have a legit argument, I will listen. But if you're saying, oh, she's a girl and she can't be, the main character, I will slap you in the face and tell you to grow up.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of little bitch babies, my next controversial opinion is that Mario Party 9 is actually a good game, and it's better than 1, 5, 7, and 8. Like,
I'll give you in the fact that the minigames for the preceding games weren't the best.
Alright, so the reason why I said, speaking of bitch babies, is that, like, whenever people shit on Mario Party 9, it's always because of the car. It's because it's not the Mario Party formula. Do I need to remind you fucknuts that back then, Mario Party was basically Nintendo Madden. We were all fucking sick of it at that point. Like, those games came out once a year. You guys probably forgot that because of this game and 10 and some of the 3DS games. Like, you all forgot about that. But we all hated the fact that the series was getting stale. And once Mario Party 9 is like, alright, we're going to change things up because everyone's complaining about it, and they, no, I want the basic Mario Party. Why did you not listen to us? Like, I think the card is a fun alternative. Like, I don't think it should replace traditional Mario Party, But for like just to change things up, because the series really was getting stale at that point. Just to change things up for one game, it ended up being two, but changed for one game. It wasn't the end of the world, guys. Like Crimea River, like the mini games were like some of the best mini games at that point in time. And to be honest, it was pretty refreshing to play around a Mario Party under an hour. But yeah, everybody was just a bunch of crying wine asses back then, and they still are. And just to put like, when I said they're better than 1, 5, and 7, and 8, I think that should be obvious. I think those are the worst of the basic Mario Party games. 2 is great, 3 is great, 4 is great, 6 is great. Everyone else is just either mediocre or bad.
I mean, to quote Game Grumps again, they were like the car. I mean, they were playing Super Mario at the party. They were like, kind of like the car. People were mad about it, but we liked it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I didn't
you can
it.
drive the Eggmobile in the second map. Also, I actually forgot about this. I thought that Mario Party 9 introducing like boss battle minigames was so cool. Like, I'm a guy who loves boss battles, so to make minigames out of them, I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I
honestly don't see how you can add them in basic Mario Party, but if they could, they should definitely go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got nothing to add, honestly.
That's fine.
It was a pretty good game overall. What should I do next? That one's a bit worded. I gotta change how that one's. I'll go with that one. I've mentioned this one before, but A Link to the Past is a pretty decent game. It's overrated as fuck though. Like in terms of the very popular Legend of Zelda games, I feel like Link to the Past is one of the weaker titles. It's not to say it's a bad game, because I used to dislike the game, but as time has gone on, I've liked it more, and I do feel like it does do certain things very well, and it has that atmosphere. But there's better Zeldas in my opinion. I personally find Ocarina of Time to be better. Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda. Wind Waker is a lot better. There's just the thing about Zelda is there's points where you need to capture on it. You need to capture on the feeling of adventure. You need to create a very interesting world that you can traverse, and the dungeons. And I feel for Link to the Past, all three are done okay. They're done serviceable enough, and it overall it makes a good product. It's still Zelda. Zelda's 8 times out of 10 gonna be a good game. But I think they're overrated, or it's overrated. It's a good game, but I mean, Link Between Worlds is better.
Agreed.
Saying it now, it's a better game.
Agree. I basically agree with everything you just said.
said.
But here, again, I was going to save this for later, but since we're talking about Zelda, I might as well come out and say this one. I think Zelda Ocarina of Time is the worst 3D Zelda game.
And there it comes. I knew it was coming.
Seriously, dude.
I knew it.
At this point in time, I have played every 3D Zelda game. And
Phantom Hourglass.
That's not a 3D Zelda game. That's still top down.
I guess. It's still not good though.
Not the point. But like, okay, so here's the thing. I mostly blame this opinion on the order of Zelda games I played. My first 3D Zelda game was Skyward Sword. I love that game to pieces. Twilight Princess, I love that game to pieces. Wind Waker, I love that game to pieces. Majora's Mask is really good to great. Somewhere between. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Breath of the Wild is in the same category. I feel nothing with Ocarina of Time. Like, it is the only 3D Zelda game out of the bunch where during the first dungeon, I just put the controller down and just went to play something else. Like, maybe I was spoiled because, like, every other dungeon in the series is just far superior. And just for the record, I did finish Ocarina of Time. I'm just talking about my first time playing it. Like, you can name a Zelda dungeon, and I'll probably say it's better than the Ocarina of Time dungeons. Maybe not all of them, but like I'll definitely say the first dungeon in Twilight Princess is far superior to any dungeon in Ocarina of Time. Like, I just really don't like the layouts. It's just not a good game. Like, I feel like it's overrated, just like how Sean here thinks Link to the Past is overrated. I think the sequels are just far superior. Like, even the one game that doesn't even try to be a Zelda game is better better than the Zelda game. That's just, yeah. I don't like Ocarina of Time.
You're hitting with the heavy hitters, man. Jesus.
I know. I just
It's nice
I legit think Ocarina of Time is the not the weakest, the worst 3D Zelda game.
All right. I guess I'll go with my hot take now.
Again, I was gonna save this for later, but we were on the topic of Zelda, so
I'll go with my hot take now.
Right.
Tobey Maguire was a mediocre Spider-Man. The only reason people remember him so much is because Spider-Man 2 had a good script and a cast to hide the fact that he was pretty underwhelming, and Andrew Garfield was only slightly worse. In my personal opinion, Tom Holland is still the best live-action Spider-Man.
I don't think that's controversial. I don't think that's controversial.
No, you'd be surprised.
Well, according to you, I would be surprised about the Black Clover versus My Hero thing.
Yeah, but no, you don't fucking pay attention to media. So.
Although, if we're talking about Spider-Man, again, this is like controversial number 13 here. I think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man between the three. And I think who's playing as Spider-Man now?
Tom
Holland, to my opinion, is the worst Spider-Man out of the three.
I'll flip that around, honestly.
Yeah, that's controversial opinion number 13 right there.
Tom Holland fits really well as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The problem with Tobey Maguire is people say like, "Oh my god, he was such a good Peter Parker." Like, yeah, he was a good Peter Parker for like the first 5 issues, but after that, Peter Parker isn't as awkward and pathetic anymore.
That's true.
Instead, we just went through him being whiny for 3 movies.
I know. Like, take a shot every time he cries.
You'll be dead.
Yeah.
You'll be dead.
Yeah.
You'll be dead. Granted, no, I don't even really care for the original Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man 1 is cheesy and dumb, and it's really dated. But I guess it's enjoyable at times.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 2 is a good movie. It's not amazing. It's not fantastic. It's like, oh my god, the best comic ever. It's good. It's good. It's a good movie. There's a lot of other comic book movies that come out since then that far past that bar. It's just that at that time, we didn't have much like that. Like, the best we had was maybe Superman 1 and 2, Batman, the first Tim Burton Batman, and like a few others. Other than that, we barely had anything really good comic book to grasp onto. This was the very first truly great Marvel comic book movie. God, did we know what would come after that? If we had known that, we'd probably be like, Spider-Man 2, there's better to come.
Right.
But it's just that everyone, because I still find so many friends and people say like, oh my god, Tobey Maguire was like the best Spider-Man. The new kid sucks, and I'm like, when was the last time you saw those movies? I mean, like, it's not even the best movie that director has done. Fucking Evil Dead 2. No, Evil Dead 3 is still his best movie. Really great movie. It's super dumb, but I love it. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's too much nostalgia for Tobey Maguire. I'm not against the guy for anything. I'm not going to say I dislike him. I'm not going to attack him. It's just, he's honestly not that great in those movies. It's just hidden by the fact that he has good cast around him. Honestly, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. No, I'm not saying that at all. He's a good actor, from what I know. I haven't seen him in a long time. At least in anything else. Like I saw the Spider-Man movies, 1-2 years ago, something like that. So they're a little fresh in my mind. Not fresh, but they're in my mind. And I remember him being one of the weakest parts of the movies, which is not what Spider-Man needs to be. Well, unless you count 3, because in 3 it's kind of a train wreck.
It's an enjoyable team.
3's not terrible.
It's an enjoyable train wreck, though.
Terrible.
That's like the exception to my bad
Venom
movie.
Sucks, though.
No, I'm gonna disagree with that. Hot take number 14. I thought Venom was an enjoyable time.
I do think Venom sucks though in that one. I mean, not completely, but
wait.
Stop showing his face. Stop.
Oh wait, we're talking about Spider-Man 3. Okay, never mind. Take away that. Take away.
Not the movie.
No,
not the Venom movie. The Venom movie's okay.
Take away that hot take. Actually, leave it.
The Venom movie's okay. In Spider-Man 3, Venom sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. No, the Venom movie is it's
I enjoyed it.
And good for you. I enjoyed most of it.
That's fine.
But it's just, I don't know. People are too nostalgic for Tobey Maguire. He was okay. Andrew Garfield, I like Andrew Garfield at certain points. I think he does Spider-Man pretty decently, but problem is he also has a lot of negatives that knock him back. He's too cocky, in my opinion. Spider-Man has, like, the persona of Spider-Man has, that cockiness to him, but he still saves people at the end of the day. There's so many points where Garfield is just cracking jokes, so someone's probably dying in the background.
That's the best kind.
It also doesn't help that those 2 movies are also kind of messes. When it was cracking jokes with Ryan, like, hey, to Rhino, hey, Ryan,
I love that.
Runs over an SUV
so many people died. It was great.
Crushing 5 children, and he's like, so you missing the turnpike, man? Mommy, my legs are broken. Spider-Man, save me.
That's great.
He's cracking one line.
That's the best part of the movie.
No, it's not. Rhino's in that movie for like 5 minutes. The point is
that killing is fun.
I'm going to send you to a psych ward. It's just Holland is better. I know it's basic bitch opinion, but he captures Spider-Man growing as a whole better, personally, because he doesn't have too much cockiness. He is able to crack jokes, and his origin's a bit different, but he still has the heart of Spider-Man, in my opinion.
You forgot one thing though.
What I forgot?
Tom Holland's. I mean, not Tom Holland. Matthew. The original Spyro. the original the original Spider-Man trilogy has one thing that just puts the rest of the Spider-Mans to shame.
Oh God, what is it?
Jonah Jameson.
I'm pretty sure he was in Far From Home.
Yeah, but there's no beating the original. Like,
I mean, that's true.
I'm pissed. There's a deleted scene. There's a deleted scene in Spider-Man 2. In Spider-Man 2, Peters quits being Spider-Man, and they find the costume, and there's a deleted scene where he's wearing the costume, acting like Spider-Man, and everyone looks at him like a nut job. That was such a great scene. It should have been in the final movie. Oh,
I mean, I'm going to admit that he's really good casting.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my argument.
Well, fuck you, it's my argument.
That wasn't my argument.
But
it's really good casting. He's really good in those movies. Unfortunately, one thing doesn't make it better.
All right. Okay. All right. This one's pretty spicy, but I don't think it's.
Can't wait.
All right. I would rather play right now any Skylander games over OG Spyro 1 and 3.
Okay, now I have to. Now I actually.
Yep, this is a pretty spicy one, boys.
I am personally attacked. I'm offended. I need to hire the same hitman that all the Sonic fans fix debacle bullshit. I'm currently on that road. Noah, I want to hear this train wreck of an opinion you
Okay.
have right now.
Okay.
But I will
So.
completely destroy you.
Okay. All right. So. Um.
You're wrong.
Spyro 1 is the is
Continue.
not good. It's not good at all.
No.
It doesn't control that well. It's not the remake is better. Spyro 3
true.
has a lot of quote unquote vehicle sections, animal buddies that don't control well. The remake is better. Well, in Skylanders has well, I don't want to say unique. It's basically a Lego game, but it's a fun game with a big cast of characters. Which, if you're willing to look at them like they're Pokemon, they basically are when you really think about it. Like, I kind of wish Pokemon would take some of these Skylander designs and put them in the games. That's just my opinion, but honestly, I have loved the series since it came out as when I was a kid, and I thought with age it would get worse over time, but it actually got better because everyone's fucking throwing these shitty toys out, and I'm like, catch them! I got an apple basket. Please throw them in here. Like GameStop was getting rid of them. I got like 20 of them for $10. Like Goodwill, some people donate them, and I took those shit for myself. I currently have like fucking like 50 or 60 of them in a box somewhere. I don't think Spyro's design looks that bad. I think people exaggerate the fuck out of that.
Oh no.
I think Crash looks good. Cortex looks good too. I think the games are super fun, and I think they are like the perfect Nuzlocke type of game where you can set the difficulty really hard, and if you lose the Skylander, you lose them forever. I think that's like you can make your own fun with this game. You could play it like a Lego game, or you could play it like a super hard like Dark Souls type of game with lives essentially.
No,
like,
you're not a game journalist.
Well, hey, I can pass that dash in Cuphead. But that's a can of worms I just opened.
I forgot about that.
I think the gameplay is simple but fun. It has all the games have pretty great boss fights. I definitely would say the weakest game is the one with the cars. But do you know what that game brings? Fucking Donkey Kong and Bowser as playable characters, and they're pretty sick. And if you get the Wii U version of the most recent game, you can still play as them. Bowser has a fucking mega hammer. He can summon Koopas. Donkey Kong has barrels. When was the last time you threw a barrel? I bet you can't fucking tell me. What, are you stupid? But yeah, honestly, I think Spyro 1 and 3 are not as great as people say they are, and I think the Skylander games as a series is a very underrated series. I think it's a lot of fun.
So Noah, you know how they tell people to think outside the box?
Yeah.
Stay in your own fucking box. I'm not gonna say that the Skylander games are not good because I've never played them. I have no experience with them. I have no experience with their toys. I don't care. You do you. I'm not gonna have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, let's tackle that fucking monstrous opinion that the Spyro redesign is good. No.
I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was that bad. It's kind of to me. It's kind of like how people reacted to Crash when he got them.
The only thing worse is the Legend of Spyro redesign because that
one's not that bad either.
No,
well,
no, we can't redesign Spyro because no. The thing about Spyro, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about Sonic. It's kind of like childlike. He represents the childness of the '90s. Like he has that like. He's more of a 90s protagonist, and the thing is we can't make him more dragon-like. We can't give him we can't make him an actual baby dragon like Skylanders did. No, he has to be a cartoon. And then Legend of Spyro tried to make it serious, and just get the fuck out.
I
You're not gonna
think
have
I
that one
personally
comedian actor as Sparks for one game.
I personally believe people overreacted like they did for Crash. I
Well, I'm not saying
like
I
the
hate
Mino
it,
for
it's just
Mutant, Crash, and Titans. Like I actually like those designs. Like I don't.
it's cool.
I like the Mind. I think Mind Over Mutant made everyone's design far superior to Titans, but like, you know, I didn't mind the redesigns except for Crunch because Crunch looked really fucking weird in Titans, and he looks incredibly
Yes.
fucking weird in Mind Over Mutant, but in a weirdly cool way. But yeah, I don't mind the design.
I mean, I know you don't like Spyro 1 and 3. I know you don't like the. I still can't really see why. Like, even I know you love Spyro 2. I love Spyro 2 as well. But 1 and 3 are still the same core game. They just have differences, and they still do what they do pretty well. And they have earned their right to be classics. Now, granted, the reading out a trilogy is obviously the best way to play all three games, but it's I don't know. I can't agree with you on that. I just can't. It hurts
I mean,
my
that's
heart to
fine
try
because
and think that.
remember, this is controversial opinions.
Yeah, I know, but why you did this to me?
That's like,
All right, this is the last one,
yep.
I think.
You got one more.
I'm not going out with the bang.
Okay.
It's more of like, all
I got
right,
a pretty big bang.
just because an anime has fan service and it uses fan service mostly doesn't mean it's bad.
Yes. Yes, I 100% am back behind this one.
Because there's a lot of anime that will go against certain anime and such, like, oh, here's the fan service scene. It's the beach episode, and I'm like, it's a cliche of the genre. You can't exactly, be like if we're watching a superhero movie and someone like fucking oh, what's a good example? Like, I guess superhero landing. They do something like that, or there's a villain with a complex backstory. It's a trope of the genre, and I've just look at Kill La Kill. I mean, it's a fan service anime through and through, but it's got a lot of great themes, a lot of great characters, a lot of great animations, a great fucking show, and there's a lot of anime that don't have any fan service and are legitimately garbage. Like using you have to use it correctly. Like, I know you don't like Keijo, but I do, and they used it right. They had over the top craziness and zaniness, and it's fun. It's enjoyable. The thing that I'm trying so hard not to be political. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard because there's so many underlying sociopolitics you can use with this topic that a lot of people get upset about. Because one of the arguments people have is like, oh, it undermines women. But I'm like, not really, because the dudes don't look like that either. Like, look at JoJo. Do you think dudes look like that? Do you think a 17-year-old is that jacked?
I forgot he's 17. What the fuck?
He's 35. he's not 17. He's fucking 35.
No, he's at least in his like mid 20s.
No, it's but the point. Another thing is, if you go to a look at all the girls who cosplay those kind of characters. They like those characters. It makes them feel strong because those characters are badass. There's a lot of really sexy characters that are just really cool. It's just people get upset about it, and they're like, they try to be like, "No, I'll defend you," and the girl's like, "Why? I'm not upset about this." The warrior in white or whatever it is. The fuck, I can't remember what it is. White Knight. That's it. The White Knight. I hate that. Stop it. It's stupid. Fan service anime can be cool. I try so hard not to be political.
So just
partially political,
just to piggyback off this topic, one of my original topics that I got rid of because I didn't think it'd be that controversial. Maybe it's not, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. So basically, controversial opinion number 14. My original controversial opinion that I was going to say is Senran Kagura and Dead or Alive are super fan service games, but my favorite parts about them have absolutely nothing to do with the fan service. Like, I think Dead or Alive and Senran Kagura, when they tell a story, I think they tell a story pretty well and very interesting. And they don't even have any fan service. Like, yes.
You are the epitome of watching porn for the plot.
Yes! Like, why bother watching it if I'm not going to be invested in it?
No, this plumber does her plumbing.
Yeah, like, personally, as a Senran Kagura fan, I'm very impressed. They have, like, fucking 30 characters, and they're all distinct. How the fuck did that happen?
I'm not trying to make funny or disagree with you.
Yeah, I know that's a funny sentence. I know.
I don't disagree with you. Oh, I think you're at a point.
I know it's funny, but I actually truly feel that way. Like when these fan service games,
I watch it for the plot.
I do. Like, honestly, if I want to watch porn, I'll look at porn. Okay, if I want to watch anime porn, I'll look at hentai. Okay, but like. Hey, if they're gonna tell me a good story, I'm gonna watch it. I know, it's so fucking funny.
I'm not making fun of you. I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but it's just so funny.
Yeah, I know, you're not used to it.
I'm not disagreeing with you either. I'm not.
I know, you're just not used to somebody saying that.
No. Ninja titties was the plot. Not the plot in all caps, but the regular plot.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. Senran Kagura, the only story that's actually good is like the actual fighting games. I'm looking at it from right here. I got the...
Well, the anime, definitely not.
Season 2 is better. But...
Alright.
But, like, I'm looking at it right now. I have the fucking water gun third-person shooting game. Like, okay, maybe... Actually, it's not just the plot. The games themselves are actually a lot of fun just to play. Like...
Alright.
With the exception of Resident Evil 5, that the fucking beach one is actually one of my favorite third-person shooters. It's super fun to play. But like, yeah.
All right.
All right, time.
That was my good laugh.
Yeah, this is good. After pissing you off multiple times.
Watching porn for the plot. I didn't even know what this plumber does her plumbing, man.
All right, so here is my final opinion. Fun fact: Sonic 06 was going to be my final one, but I think this one's pretty close to be a good finale.
Oh boy!
And it is an anime one.
Oh
all right.
Boy.
I'm actually kind of scared to say this. All right, ready?
Do it.
Dragon Ball Super is better than OG Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no, I can't. Oh.
Okay. OG Dragon Ball Z is so slow. And honestly, I don't even need to bring this up. You brought this point up earlier. Like, it is so slow. The fights take forever. And I'm gonna be honest, like, this is like a multi-part one, because the second part is like, I prefer Kai over the original Z, but I don't think I don't think that's controversial. So I didn't include that.
Also, the dub for Kai is better.
Absolutely. Who really liked old lady Frieza? Like, oh my god.
I must touch the balls.
So funny. These balls, I just want to caress them. Like, come on! Like, Kai is just so superior, has better voice acting, better animation. Well,
skips
the bullshit. It looks cleaner. It's just like, that's all better. But my
Super is all bullshit.
No. Here comes my argument. Okay. I will state right fucking now, and I did this before, but I'll do it again. The first two arcs are horseshit. But, like I said before, you can skip them and just watch the movies. I know that's bad, but who cares? You have a better version of these plots. Just skip to the new stuff, and I think the new stuff is better than OG Dragon Ball Z. Like, the fights are snappy. They look better. better in general.
Ooh, no, I can't agree with
No, I will agree with that because it's my opinion and I hate you. No, I'm kidding. But
Well, you're getting so
I know,
definite.
like
Holy shit.
I'm thinking like the fight a bit like Goku versus Jiren, Vegito versus Fusamasu. Like the plots are really fucking stupid, but the whole series is about fighting, and they bring in like the most killer fights ever. Like some people, this is controversial number 15. I think the Tournament of Power arc is actually really good. I actually liked it. I liked all the mini fights. I liked the big fight leading into Jiren versus Goku.
What, next you think that Jiren isn't boring?
I actually like Jiren. Controversial opinion number 16.
He's okay.
I actually like Jiren. I actually find him very entertaining. Oh, maybe not entertaining. I find him a fun watch.
The best part about him is his voice actor.
Damn straight. Like the English dub Dio voices him. As well as that one guy from Kill la Kill that I like so much. Like, yeah, Tamagori. Like,
Patrick Seitz is what you think.
Yep.
By the way.
He is the god of voice acting in my opinion. Only
He's also
rivaled
Scorpion.
Prove my point. But he's up there, rivals Troy Baker. Like, there's no other competition. I don't care. But like that's my biggest problem with the original Dragon Ball.
Can I pause? Can I stop you for a second?
Okay, what?
I was thinking about that one scene from Kill la Kill when the guy is running down the stairs and Kamagori is just falling straight down.
Yeah.
It's in my head, and I love that scene so much.
All right, look. OG Dragon Ball, I think, hasn't aged the best, and I think that might be Kai's fault.
Wait, really?
I honestly, yeah, I agree. Like,
Wait, like the original Dragon Ball?
The original Dragon Ball Z, I mean. Like, Kai might have done that for me. If there wasn't a Kai, maybe I wouldn't be saying this, but the fact of the matter is, there's a better version of Dragon Ball Z, so I'm gonna watch that version, because I don't want to deal, like... I know it's easy just to marathon each episode, but every time, I skip... Okay, sometimes I feel nostalgic and watch the old Dragon Ball Z. I always skip the Frieza saga. Always. Like, just watching that stuff on Kai, like, I always skip Frieza. It's just, it's a slog to go through, and I just think Kai is the better version of Dragon Ball Z, but I think Super is just better than the original Dragon Ball Z. If I had two TVs right next to me, one with the original Dragon Ball Z and one with Super, I'm gonna watch Super.
I'm not gonna lie, you've got me thinking a little bit. Because if we're not counting Kai, there is a lot of bullshit in the original Z.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I still think that the original Z is a pretty good anime, and I still stand that Super is very mediocre.
Well, the original Z is good.
Also,
like
mention the fact that the writing in the original Z is also
agreed.
better. Again, going back to Super, with my original argument for it against Boruto, the characters in Super are completely static. No one changes. No one evolves. No one has a character arc. It's like the biggest character arc is fucking Goku getting his next power.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with Z. You can look at like Vegeta changing.
But here's
changing.
the thing.
You can look at the androids changing.
Yes, I agree with
really
that. But the reason why I watch Dragon Ball Z is for the fights.
It's slower. Oh, okay.
It's like
that wasn't the way I thought you were gonna go with it.
Like, I think Goku Black is one of the best villains in Dragon Ball, and probably one of the best villains of all time of anime.
Oh, I will disagree.
Like, they have the perfect plan: kill all mortals. Like, I would go with that plan.
Are you even counting like movie villains and other villains?
Well, what movie villain is good?
Well, do you mean like villains ever created ever?
I'm mostly focusing on Dragon Ball, but
okay.
I would
I'm gonna give you
I would say he rivals some villains. Like, I would never say Goku Black is better than Pain. Like, Pain's like one of my favorite anime villains of all time. But in the terms of Dragon Ball and to some villains in anime, I think he's one of the best. Like,
Personally, in my opinion, the best anime villains are from Cider series.
I also like how they took the cliche of like the evil clone trope and made it interesting. Like, who honestly thought, looking at...
Don't shoot that man. He isn't black.
That's a dub.
I know, and it's still the best.
Oh my god. I remember that one time when you said that out loud, you got bitched at by your dad. It was great.
Well, that's because my dad's a conservative.
Yeah.
And
hey, no
was,
politics.
Like, thinking I was talking about that. I know, but he...
Okay.
Yeah, he was thinking I was talking about one thing. I was like, no, it's something stupid but funny.
Okay.
And whatever.
Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say that.
Don't say that.
I stopped
All
myself. Let's not worry about that.
Yeah, let's not worry about that.
His opinion doesn't matter right now.
Because he's dead. No, I'm kidding. But
no, that'd be really fucked
that
up
would
if
be
that was
fucked
true.
up. That's why I wouldn't say that if that was actually true. But anyway, that was basically all of our controversial opinions. I don't want to brag. I think mine were definitely more controversial than yours.
Well, it's the fact that like usually my opinions don't lean on the side of controversy. It's more on the side of a bit more off-putting or unpopular. Like one of the things I wanted to put on here, I told you, was that Sergeant Frog is the best one of the best dubs in anime. But it's not controversial. It's a good topic, and I could talk about it, but it's not going to piss anyone off. Most of my opinions won't piss people off. It's more just to give them food for thought. You, on the other hand, like to piss people off.
I do.
So you were more catered to this.
Well,
it's just that most of my things I was aiming towards like things that I care about.
Well,
like
I'll admit I'm a very different beast when it comes to everything. Honestly, like I don't do this to as I need to remind everyone. With my controversial list, I'm not doing this to piss people off. Well, technically I am, but
you surprised me.
Technically I am, and I'm not sorry.
Fans eat you alive.
Technically I am, and I'm not sorry. But all of this list is fact, in my opinion. Like, no, it's not fact in general. It's just fact to me. Like, everything I said is completely true for me.
Right.
Exactly. Finally, after 2 or 3 years, you finally get it.
Yeah, I'll only admit that when I'm dead. Even then, probably not.
I'm gonna lay on my deathbed. Hey, guess what? Sonic 06 is better.
Guess
Fuck
what?
you,
Fuck
bye.
you,
But anyway.
Just on my deathbed, it's like, do you have any last words? Fuck you, Noah. They're like, who the fuck is Noah?
Oh, the Ark.
No, my mom will be my sister will be like, what? Just really confused.
Anyway,
but it's just my controversial opinions aren't really. Well, like I said, my mind just doesn't think that way. Like I prefer to talk about things that like are more eye-opening and talk about like how something affects me or affects other folks in a very more appealing manner versus I'm going to give you opinions that will piss you off. And even then, I don't think too many of these will piss people off. They're just ones that a lot of folks are not going to agree with.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yours are going to piss people off.
Oh my god. I'm going to be Infamous, which is also a great game.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Fuck nut.
Fuck boy.
Nut fuck.
Nut man.
Nut fuck is so much fucking funnier than fuck nut.
True. The facts have been spoken. So everybody, I want you all to realize that our opinions are superior to yours. So you're all nut fucks to us.
I want that to be an insult. No, you're a nut fuck.
I want that to be a t-shirt. I want your profile picture on a t-shirt and a caption saying nut fuck on the bottom.
No one's gonna get it.
Hey, if we do it on that Jackbox game, we can make it happen. We just need a really good artist.
We don't. Oh, I do know an artist, but I don't know if he can play. Well, he probably could play Jackbox. Well, I could have him join sometime.
We'll be like, draw really good pictures. We'll get
because he's the guy who
okay.
does my art.
All right.
so
We're
he
getting
did a
off
good
topic.
job.
Thank you guys for watching. If you have your own controversial opinions, I guarantee it's not as bad as mine. But you can put them in the comments below. Also,
I thought you were gonna say if you have your own controversial opinions, I don't give a shit. Fuck off.
I mean, I don't, but it's the YouTube thing to
Wow.
say.
I actually do kind of want to hear.
I do
stuff.
too. I know I'm gonna get more hate
Why
than
did you say you don't?
because it's funny. It's a controversial opinion. Have a good night, folks.
Fuck you.